It's Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in Lansing, joined today by Wayne Schmidt. He is a member of the Michigan State Senate, a newer member. You came over from the House, served 6 years there. Now you're in the Senate. Talk to us about the differences. The Senate, I guess, 2/3 smaller than the House. How is it?
It's a lot more relaxed.
Is it?
The House is a bit more of the Wild West.
Oh, yes.
In the Senate, we have a 60-second voting clock, so things just kind of keep moving along.
Okay.
And when you think of an older, more deliberative body, yeah, we unfortunately fit that bill.
And what about the relationships? You have a better chance to get to know your colleagues, be it Democrats, Republicans, whomever they are.
You do, and one of the nice things is having served 6 years in the House, I've gotten to know many of the senators, the upperclassmen.
Right.
And so it's been a nice, smooth transition. It is a change, as I said, from the Wild West, but I'm enjoying my first year and a half.
So let's talk about your district, a large one, needless to say.
It is about the 3rd or 4th largest district in the state, whether you discuss square miles or number of counties.
Right.
And of course, my home county is Grand Traverse. I grew up in Traverse City, and it includes Grand Traverse, all of Antrim, Charlevoix, Emmett, Sheboygan counties. You cross the Mackinac Bridge, and you go into all of Mackinac, Chippewa, and Luce counties. And Chippewa is Sault Ste. Marie, so I'm anchored with Traverse City in the southern part, Sault Ste. Marie in the north part.
How do you serve such a broad swath of this great state? Lots of constituents, but they live far and yonder.
I've got a great 2006 Chevy pickup
I
with 280,000 miles on it.
Right.
I'm going to go for 350 minimum.
I like it. Let's talk about the top of your district and the Soo Locks. For our viewers statewide, give us a sense of what they are, how they operate, and their importance to our state.
When you look at the Soo Locks, there are 2 of them. One that can handle 1,000-foot freighters, the Lakers, and the second lock is for the smaller boats.
Okay.
And it is a very, very critical piece of infrastructure, not only for Michigan's economy, the Great Lakes economy, but for the entire United States.
Explain.
When you talk about iron ore being shipped from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, Minnesota, most of that goes down to the steel mills in Cleveland, Gary, Chicago, Detroit. And the cheapest and most effective way to move that iron ore is via the boats.
What would happen if one or both of those locks went down?
If we lost, and the key one is the 1,000-footer, the Poe, the P-O-E, named after Colonel Poe. He died and they named it after him. If we lost that, not only would we see double-digit unemployment in Michigan, you would actually see a reduction in the gross national product. Not a slowing down of the national economy, an actual reduction of almost 3 to 4%. So you're talking unemployment, vast unemployment throughout the Great Lakes area, and it would hit our major trading partner, Canada. Ontario is our #1 trading partner here in the United States.
Right.
So it would have negative consequences internationally.
And what could cause a lock to go down? Would it be mechanical error, age, natural disaster, all of the above?
All of the above. Most likely it's going to be age and mechanical. There's generally been a replacement or an upgrade of the locks every 10 to 20 years. We haven't done a major upgrade in over 30 years.
Why?
We
don't know.
It's the federal government. Ultimately, it's an agreement between the United States and Canada. They have not upgraded. The Army Corps of Engineers has appropriated money, but it's never been fulfilled by Congress. And as I said, it's something that's easily overlooked by, heck, even Michiganders, but by the entire country. But that is so critically important, not only to the economy, national defense.
I mean, we see what happened in New Orleans with Katrina and how that caused ripple effects throughout that region. This seems even more serious. How do we get, who do we need to call to get this going?
Well, I've been very fortunate. I have some very good colleagues both in the House and the Senate.
Here
in Lansing, and also a partnership with Governor Snyder.
Okay.
We held a triple committee hearing last year, along with myself, Senator Ken Horn, and Senator Tom Casperson. We all met in Sault Ste. Marie at the locks. We had business, we had labor, we had manufacturing, we had local governments, we had the Sioux tribe of Indians that Chairman Paymont was there. We had support throughout the state of Michigan. You name it, people supported it. The push is to get the federal government on board. We've had several congressmen visit the Soo Locks. I know that they'll again be doing it this summer to show their colleagues throughout the United States the importance. And what we're talking about is a piece of infrastructure, an investment of approximately $600 million. And while that's a lot of money,
in the scheme of
things, it's nothing versus double-digit unemployment, national security. It's a no-brainer.
You said the money's there; it just hasn't been appropriated.
They need to fund it.
So is this a congressional issue in the end?
This is a congressional issue in the end.
This is Michigan. I mean, this is a powerful state.
We have a great congressional delegation that's been pushing for it. Our U.S. senators have been pushing for it. We've been working with our neighboring states. They have passed similar resolutions calling on Congress and the president to fund this, and we just keep pushing. I can't think of a better thing. When they did the stimulus package, I thought this would have been it. But and I said we have labor and management. We've got all the interested parties. I'm hoping maybe this summer, next year, we get this done.
So let's presume we get money appropriated this summer. How quickly do you go? And I guess what you're looking for, is it an upgrade or some redundancy?
The redundancy, a twinning of the Po.
I see.
A second lock that can handle 1,000-foot freighters.
So let's presume you get funding this summer. How quickly do you go into construction, and then how quickly is it done?
It's up to a 10-year project.
Oh, this is serious.
It's going to take some time.
And the job impact, presumably significant.
Huge.
Couldn't come at a better time.
Could not come at a better time. And as I said, you're talking the construction jobs, the local economy, and also not only the Great Lakes, but the national economy. So that's the Soo up there.
Right.
It's very, very important.
Let's talk about those folks that may be working on this project. Let it be. They will need somewhere to live. And in the final analysis, housing is getting more and more expensive. And there's this concept that's become more popular known as workforce housing. Housing that can be afforded by all of us at all income levels. Is that something that you've been looking at lately?
Been working on that extensively in the Commerce Committee, working with my partners in the Senate to bring attention to that. When we're talking about northern Michigan and the Upper Peninsula, it is critical, and you mentioned it, housing that can be afforded by everyone. And we're not talking about people, those that are very less fortunate.
This is not extreme, quote, affordable housing, as that term. No. It's not a term of
exactly. We're not talking about someone who's hit very tough times, needs that extra, maybe Section 8 housing, as they used to call it. We're talking about making sure that housing is available for that entry-level worker, all the way up to, and I know this may shock a lot of people, when you're talking even $80,000, $90,000 a year jobs, depending on the
doesn't shock me.
No,
yeah,
but that's,
I get it. No, but that's my point. You're right. You are absolutely right.
Those are what we need, and when people talk about it, making sure that young teacher, new police officer, firefighter, the nurses, heck, even the doctors coming out when they have so much debt, especially when you think family practitioners, nurse practitioners. It is so critical, and that's something that's not only needed up in the Soo when we talk about hospitality, the tourism, and of course the Soo Locks, when you're talking Traverse City, Petoskey, all along the shoreline. Those type of housing options are very critical.
So how do we move on this? Do we need zoning done through counties? Do we need government to get involved in terms of public-private partnerships? How do we move the needle on this?
That's exactly it. It's mostly public-private partnerships, making sure that the zoning is in place, working with local units of government. We generally try to have the locals do it best, but there is state assistance.
Federal at all?
Of course there's federal, but with more federal assistance, more rules.
More strings, right.
We're trying to do it here, take care of the situation that best fits Traverse City, best fits Sault Ste. Marie, an option that fits Detroit, Grand Rapids. So I've been working with all of those various groups to make sure that it's not a one-size-fits-all, but the opportunity to take advantage of it is there.
You're a good man. His name is Wayne Schmidt. He is a member of the Michigan State Senate. I'm in Lansing today. My name is Brad Pomerance, Charter Local Edition.